Hello my pals and welcome back to another video. Today we are baking, gluten-free baking. We're dabbling in the gluten-free. You may be asking yourself, Tara, aren't you a professional baker? Aren't you a French trained pastry chef? Yes, I am to those things, and those things generally include flour, wheat, and a lot of gluten. But I turned 30 and my body slowly started to go downhill. And you know, why not cut out some things that could be inflammatory or upsetting to our bodies? Just where we can, when we can, why not? You know, back in the day, gluten-free things were kind of gross. Like they were not what they are today, and still today they're not the greatest. But flour is just this magical thing, okay? It's really, really hard to replicate flour. And apparently, and unfortunately, gluten, the thing in flour that makes it so wonderful and magical for baking, is also something that gives a ton of people issues, a ton of bodies upset about it. And I think that maybe I might be starting to be one of those. I don't want to admit it, okay? I don't want to admit it, that maybe I might be needing to cut out or cut down gluten. We'll see how it goes. Now, the only time I've ever really felt great nutritionally and like body-wise is when I was eating a ketogenic diet. Before you come for me, you know, I think a lot of people are very misinformed and uneducated about what that actually entails. And sure, you can fall down like the weird keto rabbit hole pipeline where all of a sudden you're eating carnivore diet. Good job for you if that's fun and that's what you like to do. Have at it. But no, I was not eating butter, bacon, and cheese all day, every day. That's not really the idea behind it. You know, you just gotta be under a certain carb limit, veggies, dark leafy greens, meats, that kind of thing. Balance, you know? Balance. When you are eating a keto diet, you're generally going gluten-free kind of just by accident. So I felt amazing during that time. So I did feel really great, but it's just really, really hard to stick to, especially when you live with someone or have a partner who's just eating a regular standard American diet, or you're me and you love sugar and you love baked goods and you love the magic that is gluten and delicious. It's so good. I love it so much. That's literally my job. That's why it's my job, because I love the magic that it creates and just how much people love to eat that magic. It's so much fun to me. However, like I said, gluten, a lot of people don't like it. Their bodies, not for them, not for them. We're dabbling in the gluten-free. And I thought, why don't we just make some cookies? Why don't we make some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies today, gluten-free? That's what we're gonna do. I've never used this before. It's a fresh bag, just opened. I am not confident in my gluten-free baking abilities, but I think I can manage. I think we can work this out together. So let's jump into it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, we're kind of already off to a bad start here. So the recipe that I'm using calls for brown sugar and regular granulated sugar. And I opened my cupboard and realized that I don't have brown sugar. So I did that dumb thing that people always say you can do, where you just mix a little bit of molasses in with your white sugar. It's not the same, okay? Let me just tell you this. As a professional, I am stating right now, it is not the same, okay? It's not the same, but I did it anyway. So here we have our butter and our sugar hanging out in a bowl. And we're just gonna like, you know, mix it together and stuff. Real good, real mixed, real nice. Great, lovely. And we're gonna add some of this delicious ass vanilla that I got, the dark magic. 2 teaspoons it calls for. Oh, it smells so freaking good. Anyway, so I just, you know, got getting old, feeling like shit all the time, and started to realize that when I eat less gluten, less baked goods at work, really, I feel a lot better. I don't feel as shitty. And it never really occurred to me that maybe it could be the gluten in the thing that I'm eating and not the sugar, you know? Because I would always just kind of be like, oh, I had a scone at work, that's why I'm feeling yucky and like sugar crashy. There's really not that much sugar on our scones. So I don't know. I think maybe I've just been like in denial for a really long time. So we're gonna try it out, but I can't full on go gluten-free right now because I have a test scheduled just to like rule out, hopefully, celiac. We're hoping that's gonna be the case. And in the meantime, I have to still continue to eat a little bit of gluten because you gotta have the gluten in your system, otherwise the test doesn't work right. All right, oh God, why is butter and sugar so good? You know what? If I had to follow any sort of diet, I guess having to follow gluten-free probably wouldn't be the worst because I can still have butter and sugar. And that is quite magical on its own, I'm not gonna lie. So here we have a slightly fluffy mixture of our sugars, our butter, and our vanilla. And I believe to this, we're just gonna be adding our pumpkin puree and then our dry ingredients. I should have the oven on. Hi, Barky Bears. Barky dogs, doing whatever barky dogs do. Barking out the window, little dog, bark, bark, bark. We're just using today some beautiful 100% Libby's pumpkin puree. make sure when you're baking pumpkin things that you're not accidentally buying pie filling, because they tend to usually be right beside each other in the baking aisle, and that could fool you. So make sure if you're making a pumpkin recipe that you're actually getting pumpkin puree and not pumpkin pie filling. Big difference. I've actually never used a canned pumpkin pie filling. What does that taste like? I've always just made my own pumpkin pies, you know? Glorious. Briggs just came running because he loves pumpkin. Don't you? You're gonna eat the leftovers? Probably. It's good for you too. Quarter cup of half a cup of pumpkin. That looks like a third. That looks like about a half. That's good. I probably put too much and just wrecked the recipe. We'll do a mixy. Also, this recipe doesn't have like egg or anything in it, and it says that you could use like plant-based butter, and you could easily make it vegan if you wanted to, if that's something you were after. Not for me. I love butter. I love the milk. I love the cows. Actually, maybe what I'm going to, hold on. I was about to say, maybe what I'll do is I'll add my spices into this mixture first, because like, your girl's lazy. She doesn't like to sift dry ingredients together. I'm not about that life. I don't do that. So usually I'll just put spices and stuff into the sugary butter mixture, and then I'll add the flour so that you don't overmix. But guess what? Gluten-free, you don't have to worry about overmixing. At least I don't think. Maybe xanthan gum does something weird. I don't know. We're just gonna roll with it. 2 cups of flour. Followed by some lovely baking soda, and then our spices and some salt. All right, spices in. All right, so we got all of our dry ingredients in here now with our delicious butter, sugar, pumpkin, etc. And we'll just mix. Another fun thing about gluten-free baking, from what I've seen so far, cookie recipes never call for chilling your dough for 48 hours, like a lot of regular all-purpose flour recipes. Like, chocolate chip cookies, people are always like, age your dough for 24 or 48 hours. And does it make a difference? Yes, it really does. Everything gets hydrated and lovely, and the gluten does like cool things as it sets and gets moisturized. Looking at it, looks like a regular dough. I would never guess that it's gluten-free just by looking at it. The very first bakery that I worked at out of school, we had somebody else who would supply gluten-free baked goods for us to sell that were like individually wrapped and packaged so that we could offer them to people who needed it more safely than just us making something that doesn't have flour in it but has been made in a bakery filled with flour in the air, So we used to get gluten-free baked goods in from a lady with a gluten-free baking company. Everything was so grainy, like just straight up rice flour. Not very good. But I feel like back in the day, that's really all that there was. Chocolate chips, the most important part. White chocolate would be delicious, but I'm just gonna stick with dark chocolate today because it's what my heart's telling me that I want. It says a cup, but if you know me, I don't really love chocolate chips that much. I just want a tiny bit. So I think we're just gonna stick with that. It looks like about half a cup. Wow. And here we have our cookie dough. That looks pretty good. That looks like a dough. Like it looks like a dough. Looks like a real ass dough. Should we taste it? Does eating gluten-free doughs taste as good as regular dough? That, I don't know. The vanilla smell is very strong. It's like all I can smell at this moment. I'm gonna use this scoop, this big boy. It might be too big, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? There's our cookie dough ball. Isn't that cute? So cute. It smells really good. I'm scared to try the batter. Like, I don't want to taint my idea of how they're going to be when they're done. So bless you. So I'm not going to taste the batter. Maybe not until after. Maybe I'll save a little bit. This is the best part about not putting too many chips in the dough. But when you add more, it's not crazy. Not a crazy amount. Here we got Malden fleur de sel, a little bit, little itty bitty sprink. Here we have it. Sweet little pan of cookie dough. They're gonna go in for about 13 to 18 minutes, so we'll start with 13 and then we'll check on them, okay? Sounds good. Beep, 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 beep. Guess what? While those bake, we have lunch. A gluten-free 4-cheese pizza on a cauliflower crust. I have a preferred gluten-free cauliflower crust type pizza brand, and it is Milton's. Their uncured pepperoni pizza changed my life. So delicious. You can eat the whole pizza and you don't feel like shit after. It's great. It's perfect size. This, same size, a little bit higher in calories. I drizzled some hot honey on her. So let's taste. Let's compare. How good is this? Which one is this? Which brand is this? We need to know. The people need to know the details. So this is the Good and Gather one from Target, the 4 cheese cauliflower crust, gluten-free. Theoretically, if I'm a baker and like say somebody who is a baker who works literally with flour all day, every day, gets diagnosed with celiac disease, do they need to quit their job? Do you need to get a new job? Is it dangerous to be in that environment? Maybe depending on how severe it is for you. That would suck. Oh, no, that's not a good crust. There's no crunch. Where's the crisp? That's what I love about the Milton's one, That's what I loved about the Milton's one. Very crispy crust, so good. I love a crispy crust. I'm that kind of person, all right? I've never been like a huge, fluffy, fat crust kind of person for pizza. Thin, crispy, give it to me. This feels gluten-free, let's just say that. Whereas the Milton's one doesn't really. It still tastes good, but the texture is not quite there. I would only buy this one again if I were in a pinch. Yeah, the crust has that like ever so slight spongy, chewy texture, but not in a wheat way, if that makes any sense to you. So far, the other gluten-free baked goods type treats that I've tried that I've really enjoyed have been I think it was the King Arthur brownie mix, the gluten-free one. Those are delicious. They're so good. I baked a whole pan and I cut them up. They're in the freezer for like little snacks whenever I need them. Those are super good. Also, the blueberry muffins that are gluten-free from Trader Joe's, top notch. Those are real good. Their pumpkin bagels, however, not quite as good. Passable, you know, spongy. Classic gluten-free kind of spongy texture. Look how fat and fluffy that little dude is. Check those out. Those are looking crazy. I love an English muffin, and I saw a lot of people on Reddit say that they like to use these as like a burger bun. So that could be a fun thing to look into. My top thing so far though, which I already knew that I loved, the Tate's Bake Shop. Is it Bake Shop? Tate's Bake Shop. They're gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. So good, out of this world. I bought them by accident one time, not really realizing that they were gluten-free. They're so good, because I love a crispy cookie. I love a crispy pizza crust. Crispy cookie, sign me up. I'm here for it. Those cookies are amazing. All right, I'm gonna continue eating this pizza until our cookies are done in about 5 minutes, and I'll report right back with the cookies when they're done, hopefully, all right? See you then, stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Our cookies are done, and they are undeniably really good looking. Really, really ridiculously good looking. Look at these. Look at those freaking cookies, you guys. They look fake. It is officially cookie taste test time. Like, does that look beautiful? Like, that is objectively a beautiful cookie. She's gorgeous. I'll do like a cookie break, but I don't know how it's gonna work because they do feel very soft. Ready? Oh, it worked pretty well. There we have it. Me in between a cookie. Here we go, my very first homemade gluten-free baking project. Let's see how she tastes. That's really dang good. They're soft, they're fudgy. I don't know if you can see like the fudginess of the cookie there. They have like a slight crisp outside, very soft, tender, fudgy inside. The spices, lovely. The little tiny pop of chocolate, delightful. The sea salt that I put on top, level up. These are awesome. I would absolutely make these cookies again in a heartbeat. And you know what? This video is my formal apology to all people around the world who have to eat a gluten-free diet for whatever reason. This is my formal apology for always being like, haha, you have to eat shitty stuff. Foot in mouth. These are delicious. So I got those 6. And then we also got, what is this, 10? 10 more. So I got 16 cookies out of that. They look so good, and they are good. You should make these cookies 100%, okay? 100%. Stamp of approval. And it is with delicious recipes like this that I can go into a lower gluten lifestyle and know that everything's gonna be just fine. Everything's gonna be okay because I still have my delicious baked goods to come along the journey with me. And I've had some pretty fire gluten-free cakes also. There's one that Target carries, just like a pre-made cake, and it's like a dark chocolate cake with a white chocolate filling and then like a ganache on top. I've been buying that thing forever without, again, knowing that it was gluten-free and just like, I love that cake so much. I always wondered why I never felt terrible after eating like half that cake at a time. I was like, oh, I feel great. How come I don't feel as shitty as usual? Might be because it's gluten-free. Maybe. And these are just all, you know, all these little stories that I have today are just various little points in time where it never really occurred to me at the moment that maybe the fact that something was gluten-free was why I didn't feel like shit after eating it. And also, we got a test booked. We're gonna see what's up. If it isn't, it could just be non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which, you know, whatever. I'm kind of hoping that that's what it is because, I mean, would I have to quit my job if I'm breathing in flour constantly all day, every day? Anyway, that's a thought for the future. For now, I'm just gonna eat the crap out of these cookies. They are so good. The pizza, pretty good. The cookies, these are the showstopper. These take the cake. I love them so much. And now I'm like so excited to just start baking more gluten-free things. This has opened up a dangerous chasm, dangerously deep, terrifying chasm that I'm about to jump into and just like experiment and bake and research. Researching for recipes is maybe one of my favorite pastimes. Just research in general. I love it so much. What a journey this day has been. Cookies, my favorite thing in the entire world. And I feel great right now. I'm gonna grab another cookie, maybe a cup of tea, and I'm gonna go play Cozy Grove and just enjoy the fact that now I know that I have at least one awesome gluten-free baked good recipe in my belt. Under my belt? How's that saying go? You know what I mean. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.